I smoked cigarettes for roughly 4 years, and I want to share with you how I quit. You can use the methodology and the logic that I'm going to share with you in this video to quit any form of addiction, any negative habit that is no longer serving you. Okay, you could just use the same logic, the same methodology. All right, so I want to give a quick background here before we get into the flesh of this video. I got into smoking when I was 18. It was my first year in university. I was really stressed out, studying and all, exam time. And the friends that I was studying with, whom I met in university, were all smokers. And we were studying for the exams, and about once an hour, they would go down, have a smoke break, come back to study. And I started to go down with them because I just wanted to get some fresh air. You know, you're inside a library, the air is stagnant, you got all these EMFs in there. Well, you know, one thing led to another. I tried my first cigarette. I was coughing. I didn't like it, but I liked the buzz, and I liked the ritual. There was some kind of a social bonding, right? Like if somebody, let's say, doesn't have a cigarette, or they just ran out, somebody else would offer them a cigarette, you know, and then it would just kind of, the cycle would continue. So there was kind of a social bonding about it. And I honestly think that's why I got into smoking. I think it was just a social bonding of going down. It's, you take a break, you get the dopamine rush. Of course, there's also the physical addiction that comes from the compounds in it. Okay, so it's really like it's a cocktail of things in my case of how I started smoking and why I became a smoker. It's the combination of the high, the buzz that you get, which disappears after some time, with the exception of your morning cigarette. That's why regular smokers love their morning cigarette. But even then, if you smoke long enough and frequently enough, even the buzz in the morning disappears. So there's that buzz, that dopamine, and then of course there's also that social bonding aspect, that social bonding element. And I cannot tell you how many friends I met because of smoking. Yeah, because of smoking. And because smokers are kind of looked down upon, they kind of stick together and they sort of look after one another, right? It's kind of a weird bond, you know, some kind of an unspoken bond that smokers develop because they're looked down by everybody else, even if other people don't say it, right? So anyway, that's for you, you know. I wanted to share that, I guess, so you can also know why you're addicted. There's of course the physical addiction, the physical element of it, your body's craving it. And there's also the social aspect, perhaps for some of you, not for all of you, but for some of you. For me, it was a big one, big one. And I continued to smoke for the majority of my university years. I was in university for 6 years. I smoked for about 4 of those. 1 year I wasn't in university. I was working, so 5 years. And out of those 5 years, 4 years I smoked. And yeah. So how did I quit? Well, right about the 3rd year, I thought I started to notice that I was, you know, I was going out of breath when I would go up the stairs to go up to my apartment. And I did not like that. Now, why did I not like that? Because prior to my smoking days, prior to my university days, particularly in high school, I was a wrestler and I became a gym rat. At the time, I really loved working out with weights, and I was lifting quite a lot for a 17-year-old. And I really was getting into, like, I was reading Bruce Lee's books. I started really getting into fitness, right? And I was a good wrestler, not the best, but I was good, and what made me good was my stamina. Yeah, that's what made me good. What made me good was my stamina. Because I did not have the same experience as some of these wrestlers. When I would go to tournaments to wrestle other kids, some of these kids have been wrestling for 4 or 5 years. They have their technique is immaculate. My technique, I only had been wrestling for a little over a year at the time, My technique was still developing. It wasn't very good. But I, for some odd reason, had this monster of a stamina. So what I would do, and it was really an annoying technique that I used, but it worked, is when I knew that the wrestler was technically more gifted, I would keep tiring them out, going around in circles, in a way dodging them. You know, like just dodging them. Kind of like what Mayweather did against Pacquiao, right? Pacquiao would try to attack him and then Mayweather would just dodge him. And I would tire these technically gifted wrestlers, and then I would sort of just push them out of the rings and do things to earn points. It's annoying because I would never actually try to wrestle them because I know they would out wrestle me with their technique. And I won many matches like that. So anyway, I wrestled my friend. I had a friend, we were just friends, and I wrestled him. So I started to feel, first of all, I was generally feeling like, wow, I'm kind of running out of breath here. And I stopped working out in university. It was just way too stressful. I was just studying all day, not all day, sorry, staying up all night, playing video games with my friends, and then sleeping all day, and then studying like when I woke up until like evening or night, and then I would just go back into video games. It wasn't a good period in my life, and I didn't work out. So, but anyway, I was beginning to notice that I was running out of breath, and then I wrestled a friend of mine for fun, and I was like, what the fuck? My athlete ego got hurt, okay? My athlete ego just got humiliated, because I got so tired so quickly. And that was the beginning. I'm like, yeah, I think we have to stop smoking. So I gave it several shots where I'm like, all right, I'm done. Okay, that's it. Last pack. You guys know how it is with any addiction. Only to, come back with my tail in between my legs. And yeah, go back into smoking. That happened for like 6 months, 6 to 8 months or so. Time is, it's blurry. So I'm just giving whatever things, who cares anyway. So yeah. Then one time, it was January, really, really cold. In the Toronto area, you get these 3 weeks in January, 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks in January or February where it's just freezing. Like I'm talking like minus 20 Celsius, okay? Minus 30 Celsius. And every time I would go for a cigarette, my hands would freeze, and I would just so cold. So something got to me. I'm like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I don't even want to go outside. It's so cold. I don't even want to go outside for a cigarette because I'm talking really, really cold. Then I walked into my apartment. I threw my pack on the table with disgust. I was like, that's it, no more. I called my friend. He was living in the same apartment. I gave him all the packs. I had more packs in there. And I gave him all my packs. I said, take them. Something happened that moment. I don't know. It was the cold. It was the constant going back and forth, trying to quit. It was my ego getting hurt. And I said, well, that's it. I'm going to start running. I'm going to start working out again. Enough of this. I feel unhealthy. I feel unwell. I missed my glorious days in high school. I want to get back into being athletically fit. I want to be stronger again. I want to work out again. And I never looked back. Within a week, I was running regularly 4 or 5 times a week. I bought immediately that week. I went on the internet and I bought a weighted vest. So you don't really need a weighted vest. I actually work out right now with a weighted vest, but it's not a weighted vest. I'll share with you. But a weighted vest is you put it on. It comes with like sandbags in it, and you work out with it. So what I did is I ordered 2 things. I ordered the weighted vest, and I ordered a pull-up bar. And I never looked back. I got the weighted vest. I started working out just with 1 sandbags, which is like maybe 5 pounds. Started doing push-ups with that. I started with doing chin-ups. I kid you not, I could only do maybe 2. That is a huge contrast to what I used to be able to do just before I got into university. I definitely was able to do 10 plus easily. And I was even bench pressing before going into university. I was bench pressing 2 plates, 225 pounds, which is a lot for a 17-year-old kid. It's a lot. So anyway, Yeah, of course, I was so far from all of these numbers. I can only do 2 chin-ups. And yeah, I don't know how many push-ups I could do at the time, but it wasn't much. So I started working out regularly. I started running regularly, and I never looked back. And that really, 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 really helped me quit smoking. Really, really helped me. So what is the moral of the story? Oh yeah, one thing, you don't need a weighted vest actually. If you want to work out with weights, just get a backpack and put weights in it. Simple. That's what I do now. I do weighted push-ups, and that's what I do. That's what I do. I have a big rock. I put the rock in there. I put some bottles with water in there. You know, I have a weighting scale in there, and I just slowly add the weight. So you don't really need, okay, you don't really need a weighted vest. So moral of the story, you want to quit something, replace it with a positive habit. It's going to make it that much easier. I feel like a lot of these times that I tried to quit smoking and I failed, I had nothing else to replace this. Like, you get this, like, you know, you know, as a smoker or as anybody addicted to something, like food is another one. You know, you're snacking all day on food. It's just like a habit. So instead of what I would do, instead of like going for that cigarette that I'm used to go for because I'm bored or I'm trying to suppress emotions, I just get up and do push-ups. I had the pull-up bar in there, and I would go and I'd do some quick, you know, quick pull-ups, chin-ups. Oh yeah, like in the beginning of doing pull-ups, by the way, I was also like just doing assisted pull-ups. I would get on a chair, and anyway, I can make videos for that later, okay? I can make videos for like, you know, fitness later, because I'm getting back into fitness again. But yeah, I'm going on tangents. Bear with me here. But I think a lot of these failed attempts was because I just had nothing to replace this like addiction to do something. Like, you know, when you're snacking all day, you just get bored. You get up, you go to the fridge, you open the fridge. Oh, there is this, and you eat it. Yeah, so replace it with something else. Go for walks is another thing. I started going for walks. So basically, I was exercising in every way: walks, push-ups, pull-ups, and running. And every time I had the urge to smoke, I would do any one of these. And that's the moral of the story. When you are trying to quit something that is not serving you and something that is obstructing you, that is holding you back, replace it with something positive. For you, that could be you pick up a habit. You buy a piano, you want to play piano, and then every time you have an urge to smoke, instead of that, you just go on your piano and you play something. Okay, exercise is wonderful. You know why? Because so when you smoke cigarettes and or you're snacking all day, because you put things that are painful in your body, which one part of the things that we get addicted to is the endorphins. When you smoke, it's so painful to your body. For the body to numb the pain, has to secrete endorphins. Endorphins are pain numbing, feel good molecules, substances. Working out does the same thing, but what else does it do? Working out, exercising, etc. What else does it do? But particularly intense working out with weights or running. What else does it do? Deep breathing. It oxygenates your body. You know what happens after a little while of working out? Let's say you quit smoking, you work out. Your lungs begin to clear up. Your breathing begins to deepen. You don't want to smoke anymore. I was really amazed how quickly I became disgusted of smoking, because my lungs were clearing, my breathing was getting deeper, and I did not want to smoke anymore. I was like, I like how I'm feeling now. I like this. I like this. I like how I'm feeling. So that's the even more of a benefit of replacing particularly smoking and food addictions and other things that are just, you know, harming your body with particularly exercise, because it actually will help you not want to do these things, because there is a law of momentum in creation. When we're in a negative, what goes in motion tends to stay in motion. What is still tends to stay in stillness. When you are engaged in positive habits, health, deeper breathing, more oxygen, you tend to want to do more of the same. And when you're engaged in the opposite of that, life suppression, oxygen suppression, toxicity, you tend to want to do more of that. You know, when you're in a momentum of eating healthy, you don't want to eat unhealthy. But when when you break the momentum, then you get into that opposite momentum, and then you just like every day you're eating something unhealthy until you break the momentum. It's like a pattern. It's like a pattern in creation. It's just a pattern in creation. You see this everywhere. You see this in stock markets, right? Crypto markets. When you get a bull market, things just seem like they're going forever. When you get a bear market, they seem like they're going until the momentum is broken, right? They just go down until the momentum is broken. It's the same thing. So I would suggest the moral of the story is replace the addiction to smoking or anything else, any negative habit, with something positive, something uplifting, something healthful. Okay? That's what I would recommend you do. God bless you. Thank you guys who donate to this channel, the donors, the sponsors. I love you guys. Thank you very much. If you would like to donate to this channel, it is highly appreciated by this human being in front of you here. Thank you. The link is down below in the description. And I also offer one-on-one consulting services. If you're interested to book a call, you can do so down below in the description. Until next time, may the force be with you.